Atlanta is in total shock right now because Young Thug is back in handcuffs, and this time, it's not a rerun of the last Rico circus. It's brand new, real-time chaos. The streets are buzzing, the blogs are melting down, and the internet looks like a live crime scene of tweets and theories. Yes, the man who gave us Lifestyle is now living one straight out of a Netflix prison docuseries. According to reports, Thug was taken into custody in what's being called a surprise operation. Cops rolled up like it was Fast and Furious, Fulton County Drift, and fans are already yelling, "Free Thugger!" while lawyers are whispering, "Not again." And the wildest part? Nobody knows what this arrest is really about. Rumors are flying, from new RICO updates to mysterious hidden charges connected to YSL. Some say it's personal, others say it's political, but everyone agrees. The timing feels too dramatic to be coincidence. This ain't just an arrest, it's a plot twist. Because every time you think Young Thug's story couldn't get crazier, it does. Buckle up, because this isn't just hip-hop news, it's hip-hop history unfolding in handcuffs. Welcome to the Rap Truth, where reality rhymes with scandal. Let's start with the moment that broke the internet. The second Young Thug was spotted in handcuffs again. It was like deja vu wrapped in disbelief. Atlanta woke up to flashing lights, screaming fans, and camera crews chasing police SUVs like it was a celebrity parade gone terribly wrong. According to witnesses, Thug was surrounded outside a private studio in the city's upscale Buckhead area. Word spread that police moved in coordinated silence, which is ironic considering they were escorting one of hip-hop's loudest voices. Fans outside the studio said it looked like a scene from Power, except this time, it wasn't scripted. It was real, raw, and unfiltered. Within minutes, Twitter exploded. "Not again!" became the battle cry of every YSL fan alive. Hashtags like "Free Thug," "They targeting YSL," and "Justice for Thugger" trended faster than a Drake album leak. Bloggers were posting in all caps. TMZ hit publish before the cuffs even clicked. But this wasn't just any arrest. This was Young Thug we're talking about. The same man who built an empire out of chaos, controversy, and charisma. The rapper who blurred the line between gangster and genius, street and superstar. A living contradiction who once wore a dress on an album cover and still had every rapper terrified to test him. So what exactly happened? Early reports claim it was part of an ongoing investigation. Translation: they've been watching him again. Remember, Thug is still fighting that massive RICO case, the one that turned his label, YSL, Young Stoner Life, into the government's favorite soap opera. That trial turned prosecutors into podcasters and judges into viral memes. But this time, sources say the new arrest may involve additional evidence linked to that same RICO mess, or worse, new charges altogether. Some outlets are whispering that authorities have been quietly building a secondary case behind the scenes. That's right. As if one wasn't enough, they might be stacking another. You'd think the man was running the Illuminati with the way the state keeps chasing him. Fans are furious. "They won't let that man breathe," one person tweeted. Another wrote, "They treating him like the hip-hop Pablo Escobar." And honestly, they're not far off, because Young Thug has always been a lightning rod. A man who can't walk into a room without headlines forming around him like paparazzi smoke. And the media, oh, they're feasting. Every blog, podcast, and gossip site you can name has already uploaded their exclusive insider info, most of which sounds like it was written by ChatGPT after a bottle of Hennessy. Everyone's pretending to have the real story. Some say it's linked to hidden money, others claim it's connected to witness tampering, and a few wild ones are out here saying it's spiritual warfare. Because, of course, the internet can't just chill. But the one detail that is confirmed, he was taken peacefully. No resistance, no drama, no yelling. The cops were calm, Thug was calm. The only chaos came from the fans outside filming like it was Coachella. Meanwhile, his team went radio silent. Not a single statement, not even a stay tuned. And that silence speaks volumes. Because when Thug's camp goes quiet, that usually means they're either lawyering up or preparing for the PR war of the century. This man's legal journey has already turned into a cultural phenomenon. Think about it. In 2022, the state of Georgia dropped a 56-count RICO indictment on him, accusing YSL of everything from gang activity to murder conspiracies. It was hip-hop's OJ moment, except instead of a glove, we had lyrics. The prosecution literally tried to use his bars as evidence. Slime life went from a catchphrase to a courtroom exhibit. And here we are again. Another arrest, Another chapter. The streets of Atlanta are buzzing with theories. Some say the cops are retaliating because Thug's defense team embarrassed the state in court last month. Others think someone flipped, a snitch surfacing like a bad remix at the worst time possible. There are even whispers that this arrest could be tied to an old case that got reopened. Whatever it is, it's clear the system isn't done with him. And maybe, just maybe, it never will be, because let's be real, when you're young Thug, you're not just an artist, you're a symbol. You represent the blurred line between hip-hop and the law, between genius and self-destruction. You're the man who went from rapping about rich gang to living inside one. And every time he makes it out, they pull him back in. But here's where things get wild. The internet isn't just sad this time, it's strategic. Fans are already plotting digital protests. TikTokers are making mashups using his mugshot with emotional music. Even die-hard fans who once joked about Thugger being built for this are now tweeting, "This ain't funny no more." And in the middle of it all, Thug himself stays silent. No quotes, no tweets, just that image, handcuffed, head down, chain glinting under police lights. That one picture has already been turned into murals, fan art, and meme templates. Meanwhile, legal analysts are predicting this could either be a breakthrough or a breakdown in his ongoing trial. If these new charges stick, we're looking at a legal marathon that could last years. If not, well, Thug might just walk out again, dust off his Balenciagas and drop another album about the whole thing. Because that's the kind of irony his career thrives on. You can't write a script this dramatic. Hollywood couldn't even dream this up. A rapper turned fashion icon facing back-to-back charges, while half the industry screams free him, and the other half watches in quiet jealousy that even his downfall trends harder than their albums. It's tragic, magnetic, and undeniably Thugger. But the craziest part, this might not even be the full story, because insiders are whispering that this new arrest connects to something much bigger. Something that could shake not just YSL, but the entire Atlanta rap scene. And if those rumors are true, then this isn't just an arrest, it's a message. A warning shot aimed at an entire culture. Because the system doesn't just want young Thug in cuffs. They want everyone who came up behind him to think twice before flexing freedom in front of a camera. And that's where this story starts to get darker, deeper, and way more dangerous. When news broke that young Thug was arrested again, the internet didn't just react, it detonated. The story wasn't trending, it was erupting. One moment, people were laughing at memes. The next, every major outlet was reporting that the slime season legend was back behind bars. Twitter turned into a courtroom, TikTok turned into a documentary, and Instagram, it turned into a protest zone, with Free Thugger comments under every celebrity post, from Drake's vacation selfies to Kim Kardashian's skincare promos. But what made this moment hit harder than the last? The timing. Just weeks earlier, Thug's legal team had been celebrating small wins in the courtroom. Motions granted, witness statements weakened, momentum slowly building in his favor. Fans thought he might actually make it home by 2026. But then this, an unexpected new arrest, right when everyone thought he was turning a corner. The first twist came when an insider leaked the official warrant. The new charges reportedly included communication violations and tampering through third-party contact. Translation: someone on the inside allegedly accused Thug of sending coded messages from jail, either through songs, social media proxies, or, as one prosecutor put it, creative methods of influence. Basically, they're saying his lyrics weren't just metaphors, they were management orders. Now this is where things get insane, because according to one Atlanta blog, investigators found connections between a few recent YSL-affiliated altercations and messages sent through encrypted apps. Suddenly, young Thug wasn't just a rapper again. He was being painted like a shadowy mob boss running operations from his cell. Sound familiar? It should. This is exactly what happened during his first arrest. Prosecutors using his music, his lingo, his lifestyle as proof of criminal behavior. Only this time, the narrative was juicier, darker, and way more public. And the memes, oh, they were ruthless. One showed Thug behind bars holding a phone, captioned, "Ayo, drop that verse, not the location." Another had his mugshot next to the words, YSL, Young Secret Lines. The internet never sleeps, it just uploads faster. But behind the humor was genuine outrage. Fans were starting to question whether this was still justice or just an obsession. They don't want him free, they want him finished, one fan tweeted. The system's scared of a rich, powerful, unpredictable black man with influence. And that's the part nobody wants to talk about, the power factor. Because let's be honest, Young Thug isn't just another rapper. He's a cultural architect. He changed how Atlanta sounds, how rappers dress, how masculinity is perceived in hip-hop. He raised an entire generation of artists, from Gunna to Lil Baby to Lil Keed, and became the epicenter of a new wave that made billions. He's not just an artist, he's a movement, and movements, especially black ones, make the system nervous. So when Thug gets arrested again, it's not just about him. It's about the message it sends. It's about keeping one of the most influential voices quiet, or at least distracted. It's about making sure every artist watching gets reminded they can touch you no matter how big you get. But Thug's silence, that's what makes this scarier. No tweets, no statements, just photos, rumors, and chaos. His lawyers released one cold, robotic line. Mr. Williams maintains his innocence and will cooperate fully. That's lawyer speak for, we're in deep, but not dead. Meanwhile, the celebrity reactions started rolling in, and they did not disappoint. Meek Mill tweeted, "They won't stop till they kill every successful street dream." Metro Boomin posted a picture of Thug with the caption, "This man built Atlanta's culture, and they want to erase him from it." Even Cardi B weighed in, saying at this point they just doing too much. Let that man breathe, but not everyone was sympathetic. Boozy Badass, yes, the same man who's allergic to filters, posted a video saying, "Man, Thug too rich to be playing them jail games. If they caught him again, it's on him." Half the internet clowned him. The other half agreed. The debate was split down the middle, half screaming, "Free Thug," half saying, he knew better. But while the rap world was arguing, something even bigger was happening in the political angle. A local journalist uncovered that the DA behind Thug's arrest had just announced a new initiative to crack down on organized influencer networks. Sound familiar? It's the same DA who made her name prosecuting rappers under RICO charges. So when Thug's new arrest hit the press, some folks started connecting the dots. Was this about justice, or was it another career move? Because let's face it, Thug isn't just a defendant, he's a headline generator. And every time his name hits the news, the DA gets another day in the spotlight. Every tweet, every blog post, every breaking news banner equals power. And in the world of politics, power is the currency. But let's not act like Thug's entirely innocent in all this. His name has always danced between art and anarchy. The man's lyrics read like coded poetry, cryptic, wild, and just believable enough to make cops nervous. He once said in an interview, "Half y'all wouldn't even believe the stuff I seen." Well, they're believing it now, and using it against him. And yet, even with the new arrest, the loyalty of his fanbase is untouchable. Thousands flooded his last Instagram post with snake emojis and the words, "Free slime." Kids on TikTok were crying, remixing his songs into tribute videos. It's like he's not just a man anymore, he's an idea. But ideas can't post bail. As the details of this arrest continue to unfold, the bigger story is how this reshapes hip-hop's relationship with law enforcement. Because the Thug case has already changed the game once. When prosecutors used his lyrics as evidence, it sent shockwaves across the industry. Artists started censoring themselves. Labels started reviewing songs with legal teams. Rappers began wondering if keeping it real was worth keeping it recorded. Now, with another arrest, it's happening again. A chilling message that hip-hop isn't just being heard, it's being monitored, and the fans know it. The hashtags aren't just Free Thug, they're Protect Art. Because if Thugger can be locked up for what he says in songs, what does that mean for every artist who dares to rap about their life, their trauma, or their hustle? At this point, the conversation isn't just about guilt, it's about freedom. Because every time they drag Thug back into that courtroom, they're not just putting one man on trial, they're putting an entire culture on the stand. A culture that refuses to apologize for being real, raw, and revolutionary. And just when the world thought the case couldn't get more twisted, a new leak dropped, one that might change everything. According to sources close to the investigation, a confidential informant recently flipped on the YSL circle, allegedly giving prosecutors fresh details on communications between Thug and associates. That's right, the streets are saying somebody snitched again, and if that's true, This new arrest isn't random, it's retaliation. Because in the world of Thugger, betrayal is the only crime worse than being caught. What happens next won't just define young Thug's future. It'll decide whether hip-hop can ever truly separate art from evidence. And trust me, the next chapter in this story isn't going to be written in a courtroom. It's going to be written online, one viral post at a time. By sunrise, the story of young Thug's latest arrest had grown bigger than hip-hop itself. It wasn't just a trending topic anymore. It was a cultural earthquake. Atlanta, the city that crowned him king, woke up split in two. One half chanting "Free Thug" in the streets, and the other whispering, "Maybe he's finally done for." The streets outside the courthouse looked like a music festival gone rogue. Fans were holding handmade signs with snake emojis and lyrics from Digits scribbled in Sharpie. Reporters swarmed every angle like vultures chasing a headline. One journalist described the scene perfectly. It's like the Super Bowl of scandal, except nobody's winning. Meanwhile, inside the courthouse, things were getting ugly. Prosecutors walked in with briefcases full of new evidence, while Thug's lawyers showed up with the exhaustion of men who haven't slept since the first RICO filing. The hearing was short, tense, and way too cinematic. One attorney reportedly muttered under his breath, "This ain't a trial, it's a witch hunt." But the real chaos wasn't happening in court. It was happening online. Social media had turned into a digital battlefield. On one side, Thug's die-hard fans posting videos of his old interviews with captions like, "They can lock the body, but never the mind." On the other side, critics gleefully dissecting every lyric like they'd just joined the FBI. "I killed it with my slime brothers." You see, that's self-incrimination right there. Bro, it's a song, not a confession. But the internet doesn't care about nuance. It cares about narrative. Then came the twist that made everyone's jaw drop. A leaked internal memo from Fulton County prosecutors allegedly outlined their next strategy. And guess whose name was still at the top of the list? Not Gunna, not Yak Gotti, nope. Jeffrey Lamar Williams, aka Young Thug. The memo even hinted that officials believed YSL continues to operate as an organized enterprise despite ongoing incarcerations. Translation? They're saying Thug is still running things from behind bars like hip-hop's own Tony Soprano. And that's when the conspiracy theories went crazy. People started pulling up everything from courtroom sketches to prison call leaks, analyzing them like it was the Zapruder film. "Look at his hands in this photo," one TikToker said. "That's a YSL signal." Another video claimed that Thug's latest verse from an unreleased track was a coded message to the streets. The internet was split between believing he was an innocent man being targeted by a corrupt system or a musical mastermind playing chess with the law. Either way, the fascination only grew, and of course, the hip-hop community couldn't stay silent. Rick Ross posted a cryptic message. "Every king faces trials. It's how you handle the fire that defines your legacy." Lil Baby went live and said, "They trying to take down Atlanta, but they can't stop what we built." Even Kanye, in true chaotic fashion, tweeted, "They arrested creativity again. Free speech, free Thug." But not all the reactions were supportive. DJ Vlad, the internet's unofficial prosecutor, jumped into the mix with a headline. Young Thug's own moves might have sealed his fate. Academics uploaded a 45-minute breakdown titled, "Thug played checkers, the DA played chess." The vultures were circling, and every upload was another slice of clout off Thug's downfall. Yet through all the noise, one thing became clear. Thug wasn't just another rapper in trouble. He was the symbol of modern hip-hop's tug-of-war with the system. He wasn't just fighting for freedom, he was fighting for every artist whose lyrics have been twisted into legal ammo. In the weeks that followed, rumors got darker. A source close to the case claimed that this new arrest was connected to an informant flipping inside the YSL circle, someone allegedly too close to Thug for comfort. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the fan base. Suddenly, everyone was side-eyeing everyone. "The streets ain't got codes no more," one Atlanta producer said. "They just got contracts." Still, despite the mounting pressure, something about Thug's silence started to feel powerful. His absence online, the lack of reaction, it made the world listen harder. Reporters described him as calm, strategic, unmoved. The man who once screamed chaos through fashion and music was now communicating through stillness. And somehow, That was louder than anything. Then came the leak that shook everything again. A short clip from inside the holding area, showing Thug speaking briefly to his lawyer. "They can't stop what's already written," he said. "They can't stop what's already written," he said. The internet froze. What did he mean? Was he talking about Destiny or his next mixtape? Nobody knew, but everyone had a theory. Suddenly, already, written started trending, half as a slogan, half as a prophecy. Fans began predicting that his next album would be his prison masterpiece, something that would do for him what All Eyes on Me did for Tupac. Even blogs started, calling him the modern-day martyr of rap, but not everyone was romanticizing it. Legal experts were calling this a career death sentence. One lawyer said bluntly, "If these new charges hold, Thug might not see daylight for a decade." Another added, "They've turned him into an example, and examples rarely walk free." Yet, in true Young Thug fashion, even his downfall felt like a cultural event. Memes, documentaries, petitions. His influence transcended the bars holding him. His music shot up the charts again as fans streamed old songs like protest chants. Every lyric hit differently now. "I'm the man of the hour" didn't sound like bragging anymore. It sounded like prophecy. And somewhere in the noise, a deeper truth started to surface. Whether guilty or innocent, Thug had become something bigger than himself. He was a mirror reflecting the contradictions of hip-hop, success and struggle, wealth and war, creativity and chaos. Because in the end, this story was never just about a man being arrested. It was about a culture on trial, a reminder that for every artist who turns pain into poetry, there's a system waiting to turn that poetry into proof. The headlines might say, "Young Thug arrested again," but history will remember it differently. They'll remember the artist who blurred lines so hard that even the law couldn't tell where the music stopped and the man began. And while the world waits for the next update, the next leak, the next mugshot, the next headline, one thing's for sure. No matter what happens next, Young Thug's legacy isn't in handcuffs. It's immortal. He's no longer just fighting a case. He's fighting the narrative. And if there's one thing we've learned from Thugger, it's that the story always gets crazier before the beat drops. And that, my friends, is where the legend of Young Thug takes its wildest turn yet. From the trap to the top, and now back in the headlines, Thugger has proven one thing. You can cage the man, but you can't cage the movement. Every time they try to silence him, his story just gets louder. Every arrest turns into another anthem. Every headline into another hit. The system thought they were writing his ending. Turns out they just wrote his next verse. Because let's be real, this isn't just about one rapper getting locked up.